One, two, one, two. Talk for me, Dave.
1 2 1 2.
All right, I'm rolling.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, what's up,
Welcome
Dave?
to my house, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks for letting me come through real quick, man. For a little over the drink, man. This is gonna be nice. I was hoping we drink something other than water, though, Dave.
It's not water. Yeah. This is Nepali moonshine, like from the Himalayas. I bought this from a farmer who was making moonshine on the side of this mountain. This is like fuel.
Let me smell.
Yeah. When they're like doing the distilling, the pot, it's a big iron pot that they use, and they're using corn cobs and stuff like that to heat it.
To heat it?
So like all that and like straw and stuff from the animals, not in there, but it's heated, and it's.
And so that gives it the flavor of the.
I don't think it's meant to give it the flavor,
but it does because of the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Tastes a little bit like the farm, man.
Like a farm, like animals.
Yeah, like animals and like dirt and like, yeah.
Anyway, there's plenty of it.
Nah, we don't need much more, man. Why do you need to sit on the side of a mountain and drink in the first place? Like, that just don't sound like it makes a lot of sense to me.
Right, I just gotta right, I know. Safety-wise, I know. No, you're right.
Welcome to Overdrink. We're gonna do this over this Nepal whiskey. How long you been shooting, Dave?
News since 1996. No, 1998, sorry.
98?
White Flash.
Yeah, White Flash.
Since 1998. Yeah, so like
I like that.
20 years. I did some shooting before I got into news, and I enjoyed it. It was to a point. It was like I liked shooting, but it was boring stuff that I was shooting. And I was like, geez, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could do this for a living. A friend of mine was working in news, and he said, hey, there's a part-time editor job. And I was like, that's great. I mean, it's a paycheck. It's something in my field. I want to do it. And I really love editing. I do. But I don't know, man. It was like once I started shooting, it was kind of like, it's work, but it was almost like you were getting away with something. You're getting paid to drive around with somebody else and make TV. It didn't seem like there was like enough adult supervision, you know what I mean? Like, do they know that we're doing this? Like, well, of course they knew. It was our job, but
So you one of the few guys that just...
I went to school
rounds
at Temple.
here. Went to school at Temple, made your rounds here, and then just got into the game.
Well, sometimes people tell me stories like people who work like in smaller markets down south, and it kind of seems like it would have been fun.
You've been on nights in your whole time, right?
Yeah.
Talk a bit about some of the stories you've covered that might stand out in your mind.
And this sounds weird, but I've always loved stories of infestation, like rats, roaches, all that kind of stuff. I know it's a little messed up. The characters that come out of these things, everybody always has some kind of wacky thing to say about the rats or the roaches or something like that. We did one where there was a woman who was feeding the rats. I don't know if you remember that. There was an empty lot next to her house, and she would get 50-pound bags of dog food and feed the rats, and she would feed them in her house.
Everybody, the neighbors pissed off.
Yeah, they were pissed. And we went over there, and in broad daylight, you could see the rats running around, and there was a hole drilled into the side of her house like this, and the rats were just going in and out, going in her house and eating and coming back out. Yeah. But there were so many characters. There was a Russian guy who lived next door who was talking about how they were burrowing in through his screen window, and they ate all the wires in his van and everything. And I remember I had this great idea. We were going to go at night for our live shot. We were going to go on his second floor back deck. And I gave a portable light to the reporter. I was like, don't turn it on until we're live. I'm going to keep on you, and then you turn the light on, and it's going to be Rat City, right? He turned it on. There wasn't one rat.
Rats is like,
they didn't have.
we know this hustle.
Right. They didn't have to come out at night and steal food. They were given the food, so they were sleeping.
They were just relaxing.
They were they were day shift rats.
Hurricanes. Like you traveled on a couple of hurricanes.
Just last fall went down to one in Florida, and then there was one in Louisiana that was pretty memorable.
You did.
They both sort of fizzled out, like where we were.
Okay.
It was like, you're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die, and we were right in the spot. We were kind of waiting for it to happen, and then it did a detour at the end. But And, you know, the hurricanes are really memorable because it's eerie when you're in a place where everyone's evacuated.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're the last person on the face of the earth. We went to this little town, you know, that we thought was going to get hit. And, you know, you're out there, the wind's blowing and everything. And all of a sudden, you know, you hear someone like, hey, how are y'all doing out there? And there's a guy, the one guy who decided to stay, you know? And he's like, you know, kind of a big guy with overalls on and no shirt underneath, you know? It's sort of like the stereotype, you know? But you know, just really, really nice people. And they invited us in and everything. And we actually took them up on it because there's no food. There's no place to eat or anything that was open. I remember, this is probably getting too long, but a guy came up to us when we were White Flash, right? You know, it's pouring rain and the wind's blowing and the power lines overhead were humming. You know, like with the wind, it was like I don't know, a guitar or something. You know, and this guy comes up and he's like, you know, hey, y'all hungry? And we were like, kinda, you know. So he said, come on in here, you know. We got, you know, we're all like evacuated in here, and we walked up, and I said, hey, you know, hey, I have a cooler full of food if you guys need anything. He goes, the guy turned around to me, he goes, son, you are about to stand on top of a gigantic cooler. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, we do all the offshore oil rig catering. They do all the food, and this was the place where they kept the food. It was a building that was a giant freezer, and we were on top of it. There was an apartment on the top
on
floor,
top of the floor,
and they had a generator that was an enormous diesel generator. He goes, the walls are 3 feet thick, concrete. You know, nothing's going to happen to you here. And they were in there making Cajun shrimp and just having a ball. And there's, you know, it was a lot of fun. These guys were really, really nice people. One of the things I enjoy about those kind of situations is like you really see the best in people.
Let me hit the button just because we only get 20 minutes in.
Okay.
That was a long story.
This has gotten better. Like
As
this was
you've had it? How long have you had it?
I'm telling you, a couple years. Like it was hard. It was undrinkable. I was fucking
it's
with
aging.
You. I did the same thing with my brother. Just messing with him. I was like, hey, you got to try this thing. And it was like turpentine. So it's gotten better.
Well, then I'm glad I missed the first round. I'm glad I came through and got it as it's aged. It's aged into something nice.
Right.
So
it's probably worth $1.50 now. Yeah.
When you did Baltimore, if I remember correctly, like I think I seen a piece of video where it was like a tear gas canister came rolling near you or something like that.
The day after the riots.
Okay.
So it was after the CVS was burned, but that intersection was like the epicenter for all protesting, cops, media. When the sun went down, it got to the point where the cops were like, all right, you know, you guys, like, you got to go. Like, we're clearing you out. And they were flying overhead with the chopper. And there was like, everybody has to go, media, everybody, you have to leave. And they started shooting the people with these like pepper pellets. They were like, it's like a paint gun, but there's like pepper stuff inside.
I don't know, Dave.
Right.
I've never had.
It was the first thing that
I guess I'm fortunate.
I didn't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we were about to go live, and I was looking at the cops. They're all lined up, and I kept looking at these guys with the pepper guns. You know, because these people were getting shot all around me. All of a sudden, someone would go. It's not funny. It's not funny, I know. But I was like, damn it, you know, if these guys shoot me, I'm at least going to have it on tape. So I'm all tight on these guys, and I say, well, what's that guy doing back there? And he pops the top on a can, and he's going to throw it. So right when he threw it, we were live now, and the can's going through, and I'm following it like a football, and boom, it lands right at my feet, and it's spinning around, smoke's coming out and everything, and all these people are coughing and stuff, and I was like, I don't feel anything. Like I said out loud to Chris O'Connell, I was like, I think I'm immune to tear gas. Oh, we saw the can, it was just smoke. It wasn't tear gas. Yeah. Not immune to tear gas. Like,
isn't it weird how we get pumped for that kind of madness and chaos?
No.
Like going in, you don't really, you second guess it But you're like, but I'm going anyway. You could look through that lens the whole time and you see all this chaos going on in front of your lens. But you don't feel like you're in a chaotic situation.
Yeah. No, this is true. I completely agree. I think sometimes people think that we know more than we do, you know? So you go to something like where you could be getting yourself into sort of a dangerous situation, but the people who are running the show are sort of like, well, these guys, they're in the news. I mean, they know everything.
Correct.
You know, like they know the hazards. Well, no, we don't necessarily know. The closest I ever came to dying on the job was at a circus, Mike. I didn't want to get in any like a spectator's view, right? So I was like, I'm going to go over here and by this aluminum tower thing.
Yeah.
And I leaned my back up against it, and I was shooting the circus. And 10 minutes later, I got up and I walked away, and I turned around, and it must have been 1,000 pounds of lights came right down on where I was.
Were you
I mean,
standing?
it would have just squashed me. Like there would be no surviving that, you know? But I was like, oh, geez, wow. That would have been a nice PR person if you could have said that's a robotic light death trap.
Yeah.
How horrible would that be? Because my death would have been a joke, right? Everybody else would have been like, Dave Eitzen died at a circus.
Yeah,
Can you believe it?
I don't have enough to talk about.
You can't do it, can you?
Finish. This is the official. Baby, we invited these people over the house, but I'm not in the mood to deal with them. Pull out the Himalayan moonshine.
They're gonna go home. Tell one of your tragic stories and pour on the moonshine out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you did it. Good
There
for
it is,
you.
brother.
I'm proud of you, man.
Thanks for coming to hang with me.
Let me come hang with you, This was fun.
Man.
I enjoyed it.
Thanks, man. This is a good time, man. Himalayan moonshine.
Himalayan moonshine and Mike Greenwich. Can't get any better.
On a Sunday. You're welcome.
Fade to black.
Roll the graphic.